the DJ lays it in. 1.5 seconds left. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. Oh, wow. In your life have you seen anything like that? No good. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go in the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's Davey Max Sports, where we talk to sports and other things. Lasers. Just got my hands on a laser cannon, and if I hear any of my neighbors going through my trash can, they're gonna lose their freaking heads. You hear me, Vinny? If I hear you rummage around out there again, you're a dead man. Anyway, here's your host, Eastside Dave McDonald. I can shoot him too, you know.
Wait, Roy. Roy. Okay, those are just special effects, I believe. I think those are just special effects. Okay, that's good for the special effects. Roy, you
Yes,
know
Dave.
that the host's name is the most important thing. You just went on a 45-second diatribe of lasers, and then when you got to, and now here's your host, Dave McDonald.
I said Eastside.
I swear to God, if you rewind the tape, Roy was like, and now here's your host, Dave McDonald. Anyway, it's your, and now here's your host, Eastside Dave McDonald.
Ah! You want me to try again, Dave?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's Davey Max Sports. That's right, Davey Max Sports with your host, Eastside Dave McDonald.
Yeah. Yes.
Woo. How's that, buddy?
You're talking, Roy.
I know,
As someone, as my co-host on Wrestling on the Rat, we dropped a new match on Friday. Wrestling on the Rat, the only wrestling on the radio. So we're allowed to say the best wrestling on the radio. See Roy and I's new match at 95.9 The Rat on YouTube. It's actually my, radio station, #1 radio station in New Jersey, #1 morning show in New Jersey, the Morning Rat Race with Carl and Dave, 6 to 10 a.m. And all of a sudden we have putting out great matches, WrestleMania matches. But without further ado, let's get to why we're here. The star of the show. He is the single greatest video game player of all time. And if you don't like that, you can eat it, because his name is the GOAT. His name is the legend. His name is Billy Mitchell.
Well, I gotta say, I appreciate it. I was almost falling asleep listening to you guys talk about each other. And you guys think I talk a lot. Listen to these guys, huh?
Well, I had to give him a little, give us a little taste, Billy, because Roy and I's wrestling matches are going over like gangbusters. But you're right. It's not about us. It's about you.
Well, let me set the tempo here a little bit for my audience. My question to you is, obviously I'm here. It's a new show. Yes, what's good for you is good for me. The friendship goes back a lot of years, a decade.
Longer, Bill.
So before you asked me to be a part of this show, the answer was yes. But put in perspective for my audience, is this your first show? Did you begin a month ago? How did this come to be?
Davey Max Sports is a reboot of the #1 independent sports podcast of all time. That's not my words. Those are the facts and words that were given to me by Stitcher.com and the iTunes editorial team, which stated that we were the best in show for the year 2012.
When you say the best show, when you say the #1 show in history, are you talking about the calling off? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that the Davey Max Sports program was rated the #1 independent sports show of all time. Then I did the Eastside Dave show for 6 years, which was the most unique original show imaginable, which is why all my people are showing up all over the internet, because everyone recognizes my originality and uniqueness. And so they cherry pick and use my people. Now I'm doing Davey Max Sports, a reboot of that classic sports podcast with this format in which we have a special guest star such as yourself once a week, and you rock and roll. This started very recently. I believe March this started, right, Roy? March?
This is our second month. Yeah, we've done about, I think, between 8 and 10 episodes probably at this point.
And it's gangbusters, Bill.
It is, although it's sports in general. Is your main focus or your favorite focus, is it wrestling?
No. This show is sports. I actually have a separate wrestling podcast with my son. I just brought up the wrestling because Roy and I actually called a match last Friday, and it's on an official radio station's website at 95.9 The Rep. But this is sports and pop culture a little bit, Billy.
Okay, but what I thought was, I thought you became obsessed with wrestling ever since you saw me on AWE with Miro.
Oh, you know what?
I thought so.
Let's get right to it. That's a great call. Look at Mr. Segway. Look at Mr. Show Prep. Look at the guy doing the job. This is beautiful. All right.
Not
Mr. Transition, the number one. Well, I do want to get to that, but right before I get to that, just let me say, what are we doing right now? What is happening right now in the Billy Mitchell universe in terms of, are we playing somewhere? Are we hitting a convention? Are we setting a new record? I just want, before we get to the Miro stuff.
Okay, well, let's step back to last weekend, yesterday, day before. Formula One Grand Prix in Miami.
Yes.
People always ask me, what do you do when you're not playing games? Well, considering I haven't streamed in about a year and a half, it's an easy question. Besides kids and college and family and business and home and wife and family and all that fun stuff. So much of my time is spent at Metro Group Miami, which is where I am, where I have my office. And everything that was Formula Racing, the Miami Grand Prix, was done here. All the creativity. The cars, some of them were wrapped here, because when you go on Metro Group Miami, you'll see they wrap cars. But it was really cool because it got so intense and the deadline got so hard that they had us preparing stuff at the last minute. We were actually in the pit before you see the cars come out, where everybody's playing with the cars, where everybody's tinkering, everybody's putting it together. I was showing my audience some of the film footage from that before you came on. It's a place where you're not allowed to be, but, well, I'm allowed to be, but you're not. but no, you're not allowed to be because it's a secret world that they work hard at. But they had us in there at last minute prep, and they allowed us to film just a little, even though you're not allowed to. But
that's awesome.
I'm showing some of that here, but that's what we did last weekend.
Very cool.
But let's go forward 2 weekends. I have something special planned, something that only 2 people know about. I can't let the cat out of the bag, but we can watch in 2 weeks, and then I can put it on your, we can put it on your next show. How's that?
Perfect. We'll get right back to you. Bill,
May 19th is a big day. May 26th is a big day. And of course, there's nothing bigger than today, because today's the first day we meet on your new show.
Bill, we're going to get into the AEW right now, but right before we do, obviously you remember Roy Harder, the keyboardist, the musical genius, the doctor of style, Roy Harder. And I'm not sure if you know, but Roy is a massive, massive fan of yours and has brought a few questions. So every once in a while, I've promised Roy, as long as he's a good boy, I promised Roy he's allowed to ask you a question. So Roy, why don't you shoot Billy with your first question before we get into the AEW talk, okay?
All right. Hey, Billy, Roy Harder here. Big fan of yours. I recently was going for a high score on Frogger when my damn neighbors were making a racket and distracted me, messed up my whole score. Question. Are video game vigilantes a real thing, and how can I become one in order to extract vengeance upon my neighbor Vinny?
Well, first of all, you got to start playing a game a lot more manly than Frogger. Let's start there.
Bam! Billy just slammed the toilet seat on your head.
But I can give you a list of people who, in the world of gaming, they don't know reality from gaming, and all of the violence that is within gaming. Maybe you can spark some of them to help you out.
Ooh.
Yeah. Roy very much has issues of reality and being delusional, Bill.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, Roy, just for the record, to put it bluntly, it is illegal to kill your neighbor Vinny when you're going for a Frogger score. Okay, it is. Just to answer that question, I know I don't have to call my lawyer Neil Unger on this one. This one is. I
thought maybe New York had like a castle Frogger law or something.
No, CC, that would be you would be leaving your house because Vinny distracted you, and you would be going outside and murdering him. That is illegal, Roy. No castle rule. Okay.
Now, if you're playing Frogger and he decides to hop his way on into your house,
Whoa.
Absolutely. All right, now listen. Let's get to that AEW. Billy Mitchell was featured on AEW, and as Billy pointed out, yes, indeed, I'm a massive wrestling fan. I just participated in the IWF. I failed to defeat Mr. USA Tony Atlas in a bodybuilding pose down, but that's neither high nor there. Billy appeared on AEW, and I love AEW, and he appeared with a guy named Miro, who is he's a bad guy, naughty.
When he's not on point and he steps out of his personality, without lying, he was like the nicest guy in the world.
Yo, well, look at that, Billy Mitchell breaking kayfabe. Billy Mitchell with a little wrestling exclusive. Miro, legendary heel, actually a nice guy. Robert, send those to the wrestling blogs because.
Well, what happens is they say when you take a heel and you multiply it with another heel, you create nice guys. That's what they say.
I can see that. I mean, I'm not
he
sure.
He was terrific to work with. Actually, they all were. They were really good. How
did you get involved? I mean, was it simply because Miro and the other guy, that Kip Sabian dude, are fans? They are apparently into video games for real.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And it was a work they were putting together, and they made contact and they said, will you get involved? And there's a little process we go through, and it all worked out well. So
now, Bill, you're what, 6'5", 6'6", right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my point being, ever thought about lacing them up, getting in the squared circle, kicking some ass, taking some people down? Maybe Goldberg could be roughed up by Billy Mitchell.
Absolutely thought about it. Absolutely had it on the top of my list. And what I did was I laid down till the thought went away.
Billy, we all know that you are the Pac-Man king. I mean, perfect game after perfect game after perfect game. No one's been better at Pac-Man than Bill Mitchell. We also know that you're the Donkey Kong king. 1,000,000-point scores here, 1,000,000-point scores there. You have a Donkey Kong stuffed animal. I mean, these are all the qualifications for being the greatest at Donkey Kong. And yet, let's address this, Bill. You somehow, for whatever reason, garner controversy. A lot of haters, a lot of Billy Mitchell trolls. Is it jealousy, you think? What's the reason for this?
Well, you were able to put on the footage from AEW. Do you have any footage to verify what it is you're speaking of here, insulting?
No, I get it.
Oh, no. So all you're doing is repeating rumors. You don't have anything to back it up.
No, I'm your friend. These people yell at me.
I got a lot of friends.
No, but what I'm saying is these people yell and they go, how can you stick up for Billy Mitchell? I go, how can I stick up for Billy Mitchell? He's the greatest Donkey Kong player of all time, as evidenced when he did it live in 1983 in front of Life magazine, when he put up a score of almost 900,000 points. And that was over 35 years ago, and it was in front of people. So don't give me Billy Mitchell cheats. And then he's on Pixels, right? The Peter Dinklage character was based after Billy Mitchell. And then a little CG Billy Mitchell was in Wreck-It Ralph. And so all these names, Billy Mitchell's on AEW. And so people are jealous. Look at that. He's got a goddamn Wreck-It Ralph poster. It's a, don't be jealous of Bill. That's what, and I get the hate. People think that I'm like somehow your man, like speaking of wrestling, that I'm like your wrestling manager. When I tell people, no, I'm not. I am simply a guy who appreciates greatness. Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, Wayne Gretzky, Billy Mitchell. Why can't we just agree? And if you don't accept that, then you have to look in the mirror and say, is it jealousy? Because none of these video game playing maggots will ever achieve a millionth of the fame that Billy has. And so it makes them besides themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry. Listen, I'll never be the basketball player that Michael Jordan is. You see me hating on Michael Jordan? No. I watched The Last Dance. I thought it was great. Just like I watch Billy on TV and I think he's great. And I'm getting a little bit fresh and a little bit upset at people like you, Roy. What's your next question?
Hey, Billy. Roy's back. Anyway, this time I have a Pac-Man question for you.
I'm sorry. The audio cut out. The audio
I'm sorry.
Out. Dave,
Billy,
Dave, can you repeat all that, please? No, go ahead, Roy. Go ahead.
He's joking with you. He wants me to repeat his praise. Now you go, Roy.
I tend to play that game for about 4 or 5 hours at a time, Billy. So here's my problem.
Which game?
Pac-Man.
Okay.
Now listen, I don't play with any pants on or underwear. All right. Lately, I don't know what it is. I broke it out into some kind of rash. Anyway, how many boards do I have to beat to get a kill screen on Pac-Man? And second part of that question is, should I talk to my doctor about my private areas bleeding all over the couch?
Oh my God. Bleeding
Well,
over the couch.
I think as far as playing Pac-Man without pants on and the problems you face, I don't think there's any statistical information on that, because I think you're the only one who's ever done that. That's for starters.
Okay.
Why aren't you wearing underwear? I mean, the pants, okay, it's in your own house. But why aren't you wearing underwear?
Something about, I think the guy, he chomps faster when I'm not wearing shorts. I don't know. Maybe it's psychological.
Billy, there's no truth to that. The fact that if you're
I
wearing
think if you're not wearing shorts, I think Pac-Man's running for his life. Is what I think.
Billy,
There you go.
Billy, one of my favorite things about you is the poster that you don't actually, it's right back behind me on that wall, but here's a closer look, as I do have a few extras, and maybe we'll be doing some Davey Max Sports giveaways in the future for people who are nice, attentive listeners and watchers. But here's the poster. I love this poster so much. It's one of the absolute classic posters that you can see. First of all, there is Eastside Dave and Billy Mitchell right here. If you look at this part in orange, it says, a hot sauce mogul meets the Dave Man, broadcasting superstar, writer, social media, acting, marketing, advertising, organizing live events, leading teams, teaching interns, customer service, sales, promotions, developmental relationships. That's all here. The question is, who clearly copied and pasted my LinkedIn profile and put it on the poster?
We got that from your medical file.
This is my LinkedIn profile that you people put on.
No, you know what's really cool is I do cameos for people that are into cameos. I do a cameo and I'll give somebody a happy birthday, anniversary, whatever. And when I sit there, what's over this shoulder is the Dave poster, the one in your hand.
Oh, no, listen, I love this poster. This poster is my favorite poster that I own. I'm not even kidding. I actually have it up in 2 different spots in my house, right behind me, but also there's another one in my bedroom. Boom, double Billies. I got Billy everywhere. I got Billy Mitchell follow me everywhere. Hi, I'm Billy. Hi, everyone. I'm good at the video games. I'm good to play all the video games. Was that a good impression? What do you think?
Voice is a little high.
All right, Bill, let's get back to you. Bill, let's get back to you.
All right, we're back to me. What's up?
You know, I'm not going to dwell on the fact that people complain whenever you do something well, but it reminded me of something that just happened, and I do want your input on this. During a Yankees-Texas Rangers game, New York Yankees second baseman Gleyber Torres hit a home run over the short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium. The manager, Chris Woodward, of the Texas Rangers, had an issue with the distance of the fence, even though both teams get the hit on the same field. Robert, do you have the video here?
Rested guy.
No, because King's a good matchup for all those guys. I mean, according to our matches, King is the best matchup by far to every one of their guys. It just, it's a small ballpark. That's a easy out in 99% of ballparks. So, the wind wasn't helping today, obviously, but, just 3-1 count. Probably going to, King is one guy that you put him back out there, you're like, okay, he's not going to give up a homer. Just happened to hit it in a Little League ballpark, to right field.
Little League ballpark.
No, King's a good matchup for all those guys. I mean, according to our matches, King is the best matchup.
I'm good. Little League ballpark.
Okay, so he's got a Little League ballpark, and he's got 20 guys on his squad that can't hit it out of a Little League ballpark. Is that
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
So, I mean, to go further, all he did was take a performance they did, and then he finished it off. And again, I relate to this world because people do it with me. He was a complaining, whining, moaning, groaning, squawking, bitching, belly aching son of a bitch. Why doesn't he shut up? You take the loss or you take the win.
Yes!
That's the way
You're pumping me up. You're pumping me up, Billy.
Every single person that is a champ, every single person that is successful embraces their loss. They embrace their failure because it's that which gives them the knowledge, the incentive, the wisdom to push onward, to find victory. All he did was take the misfortune he had and he pushed himself down.
That's right.
Billy, I'm ready to box 12 rounds with Mike Tyson. You're pumping me up. You're dead on right. And let me tell you something. Yeah, and let me piggyback on your point, Bill. This Chris Woodward actually got the stat totally incorrect. So they looked up if Gleyber Torres' home run was in fact a cheap home run. And it would have been a home run where he hit the ball in Yankee Stadium, would have been a home run in 26 out of 30 ballparks. This manager tried saying in 99% of the ballparks, that ball's not a home run. In 26 out of 30, it was a home run. So A, he's inaccurate. And B, you're absolutely right. He's a crybaby. It's not like they push the fences back when his team, the Texas Rangers, get up to the plate. It's the same fence. So if it's Little League home runs, where are your Little League All-Stars hitting the home runs? Let's go.
Well, I can relate to it because not long ago, I was in a contest, a championship. I won. I came in first place. The guy that came in second place was awesome. The guy that came in third place was more awesome. The guy that came in fourth place was awesome. But there's a handful of wine babies. Now they want to have a contest, and Billy won't be in it.
Oh.
So what we're going to start doing is we're going to have Super Bowls, and we won't let Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
No, it's the truth. And that is why I brought it up to you, Bill, because I was like, you have been the recipient of, quite frankly, the most sour grapes that the internet, you and George Lucas for episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Billy Mitchell for some BS that a few bloggers try doing on YouTube because they're ridiculously jealous of all of the fame that the greatest video game player of all time has. Well, sorry, when you're the greatest ever, you're going to have fame. And there's nothing that your little fat maggot fingers can do to take down Billy Mitchell's fame. And I'm talking to you, Roy Harder. What's your, Billy's got something, and then you can ask Billy a question.
But what happens is, you say they're jealous of me.
They are.
But if I could expand it, they're jealous of anybody who has a level of success. They're jealous of you and the program you have. They're jealous of the different athletes that we talk about. They're jealous of other game players who accomplish things. It's just, I think it's just a lack of self-fulfillment for some people.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
if you think about it hard enough, it's enough to make you pity them because, geez, it's only a game. Gee, it's only a wrestling match. Gee, it's only fun. It doesn't define you. Therefore, don't let it bother you. But
he's a wise.
It doesn't matter if I say
person.
that. I can't get that across to every person.
No, I agree with you.
No.
And
I don't think I can get it across to Roy.
Well, Roy, listen, the man's very wise. Go ahead and ask your question. But did you hear that? That was like Confucius. Okay?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I can't believe how much wisdom Billy Mitchell spouts out, and he doesn't even think about it. And the guy's like Yoda times 50. Go ahead, Roy.
What's up, Billy? Roy Harder again. Anyway, believe it or not, I have a problem. I qualified for the Dig Dug Championships being held in Orlando, but I'm currently on the U.S. no-fly list. It's a long story. Just remember, don't threaten to blow up a plane, even if Steve Wiebe is on it. Anyway,
Okay. I can dig what you're saying. Go ahead.
Anyway, the next time you're up here, can you give me a ride down to Florida so I can pick up my damn Dig Dug trophy? Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, I can. I got a seat for you. It's right on the hood.
Dig Dug was okay. Billy, my favorite game, is this a controversial statement to say I sort of preferred Ms. Pac-Man to Pac-Man because of, I thought there was more stuff, but I love Pac-Man. It's just Ms. Pac-Man. Is it an easier game, you think, Ms. Pac-Man?
No, it's not easier. And, it came second. So there's always a little bit of favoritism towards the first.
Yeah.
Like the first one to achieve something, like Neil Armstrong, always gets the lion's share of the positive attention.
Sure.
Kind of like the first perfect Pac-Man, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the first radio show dedicated to wrestling.
That is a good point. Good point.
But no, the truth is, it is a game that has a greater variety. It has more screens. And I promised some good friends in the industry that I was going to make a run at that world record as soon as I'm done finishing having fun with Pac-Man, which will be this year.
Whoa, I believe we've just gotten an exclusive. So we can say that in 2023, Billy Mitchell will be attempting a Ms. Pac-Man perfect score. We can put that out there right now to the video game universe.
Probably even before that. Probably.
Whoa! Even before that, Roy.
Wow.
No matter how much insanity you want to direct that, Billy, he ignores you. And the people like you. He refers to you people as white noise.
Yeah.
He got no time.
People with not enough testosterone.
That's right. Bill.
That's Roy's favorite type of noise.
Bill, another thing that you should see. Suns, Mavericks, big time game. Phoenix was up there, the number one seed in the West. Okay, it's the NBA playoffs, and they were up 2-1. They had a bad game. Chris Paul ends up fouling out, and they lose the game, and now it's tied 2-2. After he fouls out, he gets into some sort of scuffle, or I should say scuffle, a yelling match with a fan who turns out to be some kind of 17-year-old kid. Chris Paul's claiming that the kid pushed or put his hands on Chris Paul's mom and Chris Paul's wife. And the kid was saying, I don't know what he's talking about. But watch Chris Paul yell at this guy. And I want your thoughts and opinions about it. Yeah, we saw it. Bill, question for you. I feel like right now, a lot of people are on Chris Paul's side. They say, whoa, no one should ever be laying their hands on the guy's mom and sister, or wife. I will say this. There's 15,000 people in that arena. That's 15,000 phones. There's all kind of phones and footage and all this stuff. I still haven't seen the kid, doing anything to the mom. Is it possible that Chris Paul was frustrated because he fouled out and just starts getting a little bit crazy on some teenager? Or do you think that teenager with the hairdo, the earring, he comes across a little annoying as well? What do you think, Billy? Who was in the right? Who's in the wrong here?
Well, you're asking me to comment on something that I don't know anything about and
Good
that
point.
I certainly can't see clearly. So for me to try to give a real opinion, I would be just like all the losers we talk about online who don't know what they're talking about. However, the idea that he's in a game and he fouls out and he lets somebody get under his skin to that degree, oh man, don't do that, because there's people who would want to do that to you every day and every night.
Yeah.
It's their way of thinking they can reach into your world and pull something away from you.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't do that. He's wrong to do that. He's wrong towards himself to do that. But I don't really know what happened. I can't see what happened.
All right, that's fair enough. It's a nebulous situation. Why I'm interested in it right now is I don't see anyone following up on it today. It was as if like Chris Paul said, well, the guy put his hands on my mom and my wife, but we haven't seen that footage.
Well, from my experience, if you can't see something, if there's not any really, really, really good dirt there, it's not going to get repeated. Nobody reports good news. They want that dirt.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Good point.
Nice.
See, he's on it today. See, Roy,
Very wise.
if you're going to get through life, you should sit there and listen to Billy Mitchell and write down what he's saying, like, Aristotle or Descartes. Roy, I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
You ever hear that?
Or Dave McDonald.
Or Dave McDonald.
Dana Plato said that one.
All right, not Dana Plato. She was on Different Strokes. Ask Billy your question, please.
Anyway, my
Plato.
man, Billy Mitchell, Roy Hardy here, baby, and I need your help. So I'm playing Donkey Kong at an arcade in Long Island and something happened, and I want to know if I did the right thing. Anyway, I see some little kid choking on a hot dog, and he needs the Heimlich maneuver, but I'm up for level 28 on Donkey Kong, Billy, and I know how hard that game is. Needless to say, I achieved my personal best, but there will be a mass today for little Andy Cummings, who suffocated on a hot dog when no one came to save him. Hope my high score gives you some peace in heaven, Andy. The world is a better place without you. I mean, a worse place without you, Andy. Sorry, I'm a little high right now, Billy.
All right. Well, I commend you that you got to level 28 on Donkey Kong, because it only goes up to level 22. And the fact that you want to see something that is beyond holy, okay, that is beyond reality, I think it's only justified that your hot dog kid makes the sacrifice for you and falls on the
Roy, if you're going to lie to Billy, at least get the details of the video game correct. There's only 22 levels in Donkey Kong. We all know this, okay? No, you're embarrassing me now, okay? At one point I was going for the centipede record. I failed, but I was going for it.
Yeah. No, I remember that. David. It was a big event in your life.
Billy, I guess today's theme is kind of great ones and trolls, because it kind of Billy Mitchell and Chris Paul and the Rangers. Let's talk about this real quick, since it just happened. Now Dave Chappelle got slapped in the face. What do you think about that? The guy's on stage doing stand-up comedy, and Dave Chappelle gets punched in the head. What's going on? Why are comedians getting physically assaulted here?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't get slapped or punched in the head. He got attacked.
He got tackled on stage.
Yeah, and the guy had a weapon. Am I right?
Yes. He had a knife
and a gun.
Well, it was in a fake gun. It was a bizarre weapon, a fake gun that has a real knife inside. Seems a bit odd to even use that weapon, really, if you think about it. But anyway.
Dave, man, if I may, I think you're missing a couple of big parts of the story.
Oh, please.
Namely that the person who tackled the assailant and stopped him was none other than Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx attacked
No,
Dave
no.
Chappelle?
No, tackled the attacker.
Oh, Jamie Foxx tackled the attacker. Okay.
Yeah, and then they pulled the guy backstage. Like, they didn't send him to security.
Broke his arm.
Yeah, but the person who was the voice of reason and was like, hey guys, let's stop and take him to the police, was once again Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. What a hero.
And it does kind of speak to the situation if the voice of reason is Jamie Foxx, right?
I like Jamie Foxx.
Things might have
Any
been
given Sunday. Robert,
Yeah.
are you aware that the two biggest Davey Max Sports Program specials were Any Drunken Sunday, where the Davey Max Sports Program watched drunkenly that movie and did commentary? I'm a Jamie
And
Foxx.
if I'm not mistaken, the second time you got drunk and forgot you did it the first time, so you did it the second time. Is that correct?
No, I knowingly knew I had done it. I wanted to do it again.
I believe it
and
was
I did.
Pepper. I believe it was Pepper who forgot. Somebody during the
Pepper
second one
forgot.
got so drunk
It
that
might
they
have been
forgot
me.
they did it.
That might have been me.
But let's get Billy's point.
Well, my
Billy.
point would be that people often complain what an uncivilized world we live in. But I'd like you to go back, say, a generation or two. If a guy did that, why don't you ask your grandfather how they handled it back then?
That's right. The
We
stoic generation.
We don't live in that world anymore.
You know what? You're
so-
Billy. It's a
so the
great
punks-
analogy.
Yeah,
Because
the
I'm-
punks, the crybabies, the snowflakes, they're lucky they live in today's world and not the world back then.
Hell yeah. You know, did you ever hear that one stage where Henny Youngman was on thing and some guy rushed him and Henny Youngman grabbed the drummer's drumstick, you know, that gives him the rim shot, thrust it right through the attacker's eye, killed him on stage. It was like a scene out of Pulp Fiction, but you know, he wanted to do that. You know, it's my wife, please take her, take the wife. So he needed to do that. The guy got a thing. Then there was a time, did you ever hear this? Richard Pryor, someone rushed him. He had some piano wire in his back pocket. Strangled the guy. Strangled him so hard, he ended up decapitating his head because piano wire is made of metal, and it actually was able to get the head clear off after you strangle him like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So Billy's right, is what I'm saying. Comedians of yesteryear were able to handle this stuff. Now, with everyone lawsuit happy, you know, Dave Chappelle can't bring out wire out of his back pocket, or like Henny Youngman, take a drumstick and thrust into a guy's eye. I agree with Billy on that point. Bill, Kentucky Derby, the second biggest underdog ever, 80-1. Rich Strike won the race. I know Chris Pepper Stanley lost some money on the Kentucky Derby. How did you do?
Well, I actually didn't do. It was Mother's Day, so I had a greater focus on my wife. Howsoever, you would know this, but my dad used to own racehorses. And I called him to say, hey, what happened? And he had put all his thoughts, all his eggs in the basket of the horse that came in second place. But he was really excited because the long shot won, and he's owned a couple racehorses in his day that could have been Derby horses, that could have been long shots. So he was really worked up about it. But again, I was preoccupied with real life.
I didn't know it was Mother's Day this weekend, so I got to buy Beanie a card real quick. Roy, can I borrow $4.99? I got to head over. Just, Venmo it to me. I got to head over to Walgreens. Okay, pal?
You think you're going to need more than $4.99 these days, Dave? I think a card is like $8 minimum in New York.
You know what?
Yeah.
Venmo me $50.
Yeah, you're right, Roy, and you voted for it.
You voted for it, Roy. Now give Billy a question, quick, because he just called you out.
Hey, Billy, it's Roy again. Bill, may I call you Bill? It's a little off topic, but I got this Atari 2600 that has bloodstains on it after I used it to bludgeon the cab driver to death with it. Do you know of any tricks to get blood off the video game console itself? Oh, and I'm also going to need a lawyer. Two-part question, Billy.
Okay.
First of all, when you actually have true blood because of action that was while using an Atari 2600, That's nothing you ever want to clean off. That increases the value greatly.
Oh, look at this.
When you're truly into your game, you're willing to draw blood. All right.
Look at that, Roy.
And believe me,
right.
if you're willing to draw blood over a video game, you don't need a lawyer. No one's going to cross you.
All right. Yeah. And guess what? I never have to tip a cab driver ever again.
Yeah.
Bill, the Billy Mitchell musical. When is that? Is that ever going to be on like streaming or this or that? So in case people don't know, they literally made a Billy Mitchell musical loosely based on the King of Kong. Oh, you're putting up 2? Go ahead. Give me any news you got.
No, they've made 2 of them before.
2 musicals.
Why don't I call somebody and I'll get it sent to you and then you can have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to play it. In fact, I heard that I even had gotten a shout out in one of the musicals.
You did.
Okay,
You
Roy,
did. East
Roy,
Side
the Dave
Dave.
Man's in a play, okay? The
Yeah.
Dave Man's in a play. Just put that onto my fucking Sorry, Bill. Put it onto my resume. World's Worst Tattoos, Spike TV, True TV's World's Worst This, and now World's Greatest Musical, the Billy Mitchell musical.
Don't forget that fart commercial you did, David.
I did a fart commercial. I didn't bring that up.
That was a real guess. Yeah.
Billy, you want to hear? Billy, would you like to hear if there's another musical I'd like to try out for the part of myself in the future? Playing video games with no underwear on, chafing a little bit and bleeding all over the couch. Something. Oh, fingers in the ears?
Oh no, I just had an itch.
Oh.
Can't help but feel like Roy hung you out to dry there, Dave. No backup, no melody. He's got a guy.
Oh, we can't do the backup until his goddamn keyboard gets ISDN'd into this thing. When is that going to happen, by the way?
I was trying to find the key. Sorry, David. You
So was Dave, Roy. So was Dave.
I know. When is the keyboard getting ISDN? I give Robert all kinds of shit. Now it's your turn.
Hey, easy. Let's keep it clean, huh, Dave?
I'm sorry. I forgot about Billy. Sorry, Billy.
Yeah.
You know how I talk off the air.
I try to keep him in check, Billy, but sometimes.
Sorry about that. But Roy, why don't you ask Billy a question then? If you try to keep me in check so much.
Last question, Billy, from me, Roy Harder. Anyway,
The
video game Asteroids.
I always anticipate, and I do anything to get to that last question.
The video game Asteroids, one of my all-time favorites. I could play it all day long. Also, did you ever notice the word ass is in Asteroids?
Okay.
Yeah,
That really cracks me up. Thanks for taking my call,
it's-
Billy. I'll
yeah,
hang
but
up and listen to your response.
The machine's way of talking to you. That's all.
Billy, don't answer that question. You know why? Too much class, too much dignity. Roy's going to try to bring this show to the gutter, but you and I, we're not going to let go there. Me, you, and Robert, we elevate. Roy, the doctor of style, the king of trash, brings us right down to garbage land.
It's where I live.
Yeah, Dave, I've been elevating all show.
Oh, Billy, he means this, marijuana, but don't worry, Bill, it's legal. Bill, is it legal in Florida yet? Bill, you're outside Orlando. Am I asking a lot of questions real quick? Sorry about the rapid fire
Yeah,
delivery.
you're asking a lot of questions. Whether it's illegal or not, I actually don't know. Don't partake either way.
Okay, but I was just on a curious Florida, because you're in the state of Florida, because in New Jersey and New York.
Actually, no, I don't think it is, or maybe it is medically.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. In Jersey, it is across the board.
Well, in Jersey, it never mattered if it was or wasn't. Just
Billy,
it's a dead end either way.
Yeah,
Either way,
Billy, we're gonna go. We want give me something that I can promote for you, for crying out loud.
Actually, Dave Man, we've been holding on to something for a couple of weeks that I think we have to run by Billy, because while it is kind of sports related, it is more so video game related, and maybe he can give us some insights into what is happening. Do you know what I'm referring to? I believe it was a video called Freak Out. It's
Freak out. Okay.
from
Oh,
a couple
God.
of weeks.
Yes,
I saved
Billy.
that for this
yes,
week.
Good call. Billy, did you see this video game of these kids playing this video of these kids playing this game and going crazy? What, Robert? What was it, Call of Duty? Robert?
I believe it was Call of Duty, Dave, but it was a while ago, so don't quote me on that.
Billy, watch this video, and then we want your 2 cents of have you ever seen anything like this in the video game community where you are? Check this out.
Hey, don't fucking scream at me! You don't
What the heck is that? And I apologize for the awful language, Billy, but that's all the younger video game generation that had the foul mouth. Billy, what was that? Have you ever experienced anything like that before?
Well, it looked to me more like it was staged, so I really wonder, can anybody really get that mad and not get physical? So I kind of question if it was staged or not, but I don't. I haven't seen that before, and
good.
What can I say?
Good.
If I saw that, I just walk out of the room.
Yeah,
That's it.
Billy doesn't need to be involved in this kind of nonsense, Roy.
No,
That's
great.
the type of thing that, it's see, this is what we're talking about. This younger generation with the explosiveness and the anger. Let's recap here. Chris Paul's yelling at a 17-year-old. Maybe the kid put his hands on Chris Paul's mom. Maybe the kid didn't. We really don't know. We got the video game people yelling. We got the manager of the Texas Rangers all upset because the Yankees simply hit a home run. Well, guess what? The Yankees are going to hit home runs every once in a while. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of anger, a lot of trolls, a lot of hatred. What I know is when you're a real champion, to a small extent, like an Eastside Dave, and to a larger extent, like a Billy Mitchell, you ain't angry, running around, upset. You happy. You know why? Because you number one. You Ichiban. You the
What I
champ.
found particularly interesting about the baseball one, where he called it a little league park, is everybody, pretty much everybody, even I know, everybody bought the guy's statement. Everybody repeated it. It was like gospel. Then when you look and you actually look at the statistics, he's wrong 26 out of 32 times. But because he said it, it's believed and it's preached and it goes forward. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's just whining. I don't know.
I am going to piggyback on that comment because I think there's something there. There is a lack of critical thinking in society right now where someone sees something online and they believe it 100%. And it's like, no critical thinking, no like, well, let me look into this. Let me think about this. Let me reflect on this. It's just, here's a statement. Now let me go give a knee-jerk reaction of just, going absolutely berserk, even though you may not know any of the details. That is a problem.
You assume all those video game players got in a fight. I didn't see anybody get in a fight. That's why I said I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Listen, projects, before we let you go, is there a project? Is there something that we can plug for you that we can promote on the way out?
We're going to have a lot of fun. The 19th, what is that, in
10 days.
10 or 11 days.
Yeah.
There'll be an announcement shortly after that. Another one on the 26th. So let's just say keep your ears open.
Billy, you are the absolute greatest. Robert, do you have anything to plug before we get out of here?
But there's a major scoring project that I should have gotten off the ground already, but it's coming.
Can you give us a little hint of what you're talking about right now?
Yeah, it'll be beyond something I've done before.
Oh, I understand that very clearly.
Okay. Roy, Robert, do you have anything to promote? Either one of you.
Not a thing, David.
Robert?
May 20th and 21st, Mohegan Sun, Pennsylvania. I believe that's in the Poconos. I'll be doing guest spots on Kevin Brennan shows. So if you enjoy that kind of humor, come check me out. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, definitely go to Mohegan Sun. You can gamble, play a little blackjack, watch a little comedy. That's a nice night out right there.
Yeah,
Billy!
And if you like that, actually, the night before, May 19th, I will be at Connecticut's Mohegan Sun doing Frank Margallo's show. So come there. If you like to gamble, we can go on a tour of Indian casinos together. Or if you like Native American history, frankly, either one.
Beautiful. Now, Billy, to conclude, never in my life have I had a closer friend than Bill Mitchell. I apologize, Roy. I apologize. Bill, you said you've known me for 10 years. I got news for you, my friend. We go back to like 2008 or 9. I think 2008 is the first time that we had you on Special Delivery with Sam and Dave. So that's 14 years, my friend.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny because the phone would just ring out of nowhere with an odd number.
Yeah.
And I'd look at it and I'd pick it up.
Yeah. It was me. I drunk. Roy, I actually initially booked Billy by simply drunk dialing him over and over again until he'd pick up.
Yeah, I believe that story 1,000%, David.
Billy, when I look at you, I look at greatness. When I look at you, I look at a Mount Rushmore. But my Mount Rushmore of video games, the 4 heads are Billy Mitchell, Billy Mitchell, Billy Mitchell, and Billy Mitchell. That's the Mount Rushmore of video games. When I look at you, I see a great American, and I see the #1 champion of all time. I want to thank you for being on the Davey Max Sports.
Excuse me, Mr. Champion, David.
Yes?
I was wondering, I actually have one of the biggest sets of my life tonight. It's at the biggest club in New York City. I've never worked there before. And
On Tuesday, Robert?
Yes, on Tuesday, we'll say. But for the night we're recording, I was wondering if, Billy, you were so inspirational earlier. Could you give me a motivational speech as we get out of here, just to get me pumped up and ready to go? It's a big opportunity. It's a big shot. And honestly, I can't think of anybody other than you or Dave who could be more clutch in this situation.
Well, what I would say is it sounds to me like you're doing something or you're reaching for something that up to this point you might have thought was beyond your reach. Is that correct?
Definitely.
I always tell people that if you're not living with some level of discomfort in your life, if you're not living with some level of anxiety or push or pressure, you're not living up to your potential. So if you're feeling that as you go into this, then you're probably doing exactly what it is you need to do, because you can always tolerate far more than you think you can. I always tell people, if you can see it, if you can dream it, you can achieve it, because nobody ever achieves anything without that pressure. To have a desire without a plan is nothing but a dream. So absolutely push yourself to the limit. Know that when you're done, when you lay your head on the pillow, you're so exhausted that you expounded every 110% effort towards what it is you're trying to achieve. Because if you do that, whether or not you get exactly what you want or you simply make progress forward, you're absolutely winning. And that's what I say.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much,
the
Billy.
guy's like Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm waiting for the free slaves. He's so dignified, and the things that he says. And Robert, if you're going to ask me, I always like to say, shoot for the stars, then you'll land on the moon. Unless you're Apollo 13 and your shuttle might crash and you all might burn alive and die upon re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Billy Mitchell, you have been unbelievable. Roy Harder, I thank you. Robert O, unbelievable. Billy, we will talk to you again. Can we count on you to come on to Davey Max Sports again in the future?
You say we're going to talk again?
Please.
I appreciate the warning.
Billy Mitchell, the greatest of all time. The greatest video game of all time. This has been Davey Max Sports. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Sorry, I cut him off.